2020. You would admit that that was not true. He lost in 2020.
Well, look, of course, we know what happened in 2020. Joe Biden is in the White House now because of it, unfortunately.
Right.
But with that said, there were election irregularities that took place in Wisconsin, and President Trump talks about them all the time. That's why the RNC has new leadership now that is focused 100% on election integrity.
But you would agree with me that Joe Biden won Wisconsin in 2020, that when Donald Trump gets on a stage, regardless of irregularities, as you put it, Donald Trump did not win Wisconsin in 2020. Is that a fair statement to make, in your opinion?
I would agree with President Trump that there were widespread irregularities in Wisconsin that unfortunately led to a lot of illegal ballots that were cast. But, of course, we know what happened in 2020. The American people know that. Election integrity is at the top of the minds for voters across this great country, and President Trump has the right to talk about it, and he has the right to do that in any way he sees fit.
Absolutely.
And, people like you and the media may have an issue with it, but I know the American public do not, and that's why President Trump is actually winning in the polls in Wisconsin right now and every other battleground state as well.
No, I can't speak to the polls. I guess the reason why I'm asking you, because we can all have our different opinions, right, on what took place in the 2020 election. And he can raise concerns about election irregularities like you are. It's just when somebody makes a statement that, and I know I'm beating a dead horse here, when you say you won in 2020, that's just, all I'm saying is that's just not factually accurate. But we can agree to disagree on that. That's fine. Do you believe that the Democrats rigged the 2020 election? Because that's what Donald Trump said yesterday in Milwaukee. You're the national press secretary, so I want to hear this from you. Do you still believe that Democrats rigged the 2020 election?
Absolutely. And I think there are people millions of voters across this country who believe that, and it was rigged in multiple ways. First of all, we had a circumvention of state laws in state legislatures across this great country that were unconstitutional with the excuse of the COVID-19 pandemic. We also had big tech engaging in unprecedented illegal censorship with our federal government to protect Joe Biden. In 2020, I remember working in the White House at the time. The Hunter Biden laptop was revealed days before the election, and 51 intelligence agents from our intelligence community wrongfully lied, signing on to a letter saying that laptop wasn't real, it was Russian disinformation. They knew that to be demonstrably false. We know that now because the laptop was just used in the Hunter Biden trial as a main piece of evidence. So yes, there was censorship, there was a circumvention of our country's laws, our election laws in states across this great country. We now know for a fact there were widespread irregularities and fraud. And that is the truth about what happened. And that's why Republicans are working very hard, both on our campaign team and also at the Republican National Committee, to shore up election integrity ahead of this election in November.
I have no problem with election integrity, but I guess my question to you is, will that ever be proven in a courtroom? Will it ever be proven in a courtroom that there was widespread voter fraud? Because it hasn't been proven to this point. I guess that's my question.
Unfortunately, we have a lot of corrupt judges in this country that threw out cases, but I beg on the side of the American public, and there were thousands of Americans who signed sworn affidavits testifying to what they saw on Election Day in 2020. They testified to illegal ballot harvesting, illegal ballot stuffing. There are people on video that were pushing hundreds of ballots into ballot boxes, even though that's blatantly illegal. So I agree with the American public and the thousands of Americans who signed sworn affidavits about what they saw in the 2020 election.